Hi everyone, it is Financial Sharktress Galit Sadiq. Welcome to another Money Monday. Excited to be here as always. Um, just so you know, the Inner Shark Circle is going on and you can still be a part of it. So if you want to, please reach out to me. Today's topic is online banks. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know how much I love an online bank. I get the convenience of a brick and mortar bank, but honestly, how much do you actually go to them? I barely step foot in banks anymore. I do everything online. So the idea that this brick and mortar bank is better for convenience reasons doesn't really match with my lifestyle anymore, right? I do everything via the app. I do everything online. Um, Hi, Irene. Especially when it comes to small accounts, small businesses, savings accounts, it just does not pay to use a brick and mortar anymore. And with inflation being what it is, you are losing money by having it, keeping it in an online bank. It's not worth it. I will tell you that when I first, ventured into the world of like purely online banks, it was my savings account. And it was a particular amount of savings that I was saving for a down payment on a house. Um, and back then it was like, I don't know, we're talking about like 10, maybe even 15 years ago now. I was nervous about putting in an online bank. I'm like, what happens if, like the website crashes, they're not, reliable. But then I realized it's FDIC insured. And as long as you pick a bank that is FDIC insured, you are fine up to 250,000. So go ahead, find an online bank that's going to be giving you, and in those days, it was like you'd have like a high introductory rate and then the interest rate would go down. And it's still, a lot of banks are still like that, right? If you put a bunch of money into a savings account, sometimes they get you with like these great high interest introductory rates where you'll get a ton of interest at first. And then it'll kind of like mellow it out and it'll go to a much lower interest rate. But with an online bank, it's generally still more than you would get somewhere else. Also, it is super easy to close that account and move it to another online bank that is going to offer you better interest. Now, I kind of evaluate my savings every 6 months or so. I log on to nerdwallet.com and I look at what are the best savings accounts, what are the interest rates, and then I look at what I'm currently getting on my money. And if the interest rate is not a big difference, then for convenience sake, I will leave my accounts where they are. If it is a big difference, I am moving my money. I will tell you, when I first, when I first started saving up money, I was banking with Chase. And when I moved my money from Chase to an online bank, I believe, well, what I'm currently using is Barclays. But when I first moved my money, in a month, I got more interest on that account than I had the entire previous year with Chase. A year, right? Think about that. I got more in a month than I did in an entire year. That is a big deal. And if you want your money making money for you, you have to go with someone who is going to give you more interest. Let me explain how this stuff works. Now, you are depositing money into the bank. They are not holding your money there. They are using your money to make more money. Now, they need to be paying you for the privilege of using your money. That is what interest is. They are paying you for the privilege of depositing your money into their account so that they can use it to then do other things with it. They're investing it. They are doing loans with it. They are doing all these types of stuff that is making more money for them. If your money was not there, they would not be able to make money on it. So make sure that you are getting properly compensated from your bank for doing that. Another thing about online banks, right? They are less likely, and you can check out any bank that you're looking at on nerdwallet.com. That is my favorite website. But they're generally better about fees. So look for a bank that has no minimum balance fees, that has, some of them reimburse you for ATM fees. Like, think about that. I absolutely freaking hate paying ATM fees. I'm like, why should I pay to take out my own money? But some online banks will reimburse you for that. So you won't be paying to take out your money, and you can use any ATM that you want. So some of them don't know overdraft fees, no minimum balance fees. Like, there's so many different fees that you can just eliminate by using an online bank. Brick and mortar, you are paying for their overhead costs. Online banks have way lower overhead costs. They do not need to pay for bank tellers to sit there and wait for somebody to show up. And half of the time I go in, because I still have a checking account with Chase. And half the time I go in there are tons of people in there and nobody in the branch, like no customers in the branch. So you are literally paying people to just sit around and wait for someone to show up. It's not worth it. I have a checking account that I'm even thinking about moving my checking account, but because everything's hooked up to it, it's been kind of a slow process. But I'm moving some of my small businesses over to online banks instead of brick and mortar because I've been having a problem with TD Bank. I have a few nonprofits that use TD, and we have a nonprofit waiver where they're not supposed to be charging any fees. And every single month I look and there are fees being taken out, and then I have to call and get on the phone with somebody and tell them, no, I have a nonprofit waiver, and then they have to reimburse me for the fees. And it's just not worth it anymore. Like, it's not worth my time to do that. So I'm switching people to online banks, even on the business side. And especially right now, if you have a small business, if you are a small business like using Etsy and things like that, they are charging you crazy amounts of commission, right? You are paying fees out the wazoo. Let's not make this like you're already having your profit margin cut into so much all the time. Don't make your bank another place that they're cutting into your profit margin. It's just not worth it. There are so many other options now, and it is so quick to open up accounts. So that is my message for today. Do not count out the online banks. Look it up. Check out nerdwallet.com. It is there. It is an amazing resource. And it's not just for, you could find the best bank accounts, the best savings accounts, the best credit cards, the best business stuff. There's loan calculators. There are debt payoff calculators. There's so much there. I could do a whole session just on nerdwallet.com, and maybe I will, but until then, just check it out. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Financial Sharktress Galit Sadiq on Facebook, financial_Sharktress on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. You can email me at galit@financialsharktress.com. I'm on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this anywhere and you know somebody that needs to hear this message, please like, subscribe, share this, all the platforms. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, Galit Sadiq on LinkedIn, Share it with somebody who needs to hear this because it's so important and every penny counts right now. Good luck and have an amazing Money Monday. Good night, everyone.